Hello kids. So in today's episode, we're actually going off the island. If you remember on the first episode, I talked about how Dale Hollow Lake State Park borders us here with Trooper Island. So we're actually going to use one of the fabulous trails that they have here at the state park, just like they have on all the state parks through here in Kentucky. But today, I have a special guest with me. I have Sergeant Craig Sutton, who is actually the commander of Trooper Island at one point. Craig, when were you actually the commander?
I was commander over the island from 2004 to 2012 when I retired from the state police and then left the island.
Well, I've got Craig here today because we're going to take the little 7/10 of a mile walk up to Eagles Point. And along the way, Craig's going to kind of show me a couple of things that they have just here in this area. We're going to discuss the different types of wildlife, the types of snakes, some of the things you need to look out for. We've got our backpack that's got our whistle and compass. We've got our camel pack that's got water in it, and we've got our cell phone in case we have an emergency. So, but be sure before you take off that someone knows where you're going. You should always let someone know, hey, if you're going into the woods, that I'm going to this location. Just in case there is some type of emergency, somebody will know where you are. So Craig, let's hop up, let's go on up to Eagles Point.
Let's go.
All right.
Okay, Jonathan, we'll stop right here just for a second.
Okay.
You'll notice we've got a fork here in the road. Or on our trails that we've got. You've got something we can tie to give us an identification when we come back. We'll know which trail to take. We can tie a piece of rope, string, something to this tree.
Okay.
That way when we start back, we'll know we'll go to the right.
Well, I've brought in my backpack, and I guess this will work. You know, being a police officer, I do have police tape. Will this work?
That'll work great.
Okay. We just tear a little bit of this off and just tie it around this tree here.
Yeah, tie it around that tree.
Okay.
That way we know when we come back that we'll be sure when we come back to always take that back.
Right.
That way we're not littering. When we drop the piece here, we need to pick it up.
Well, while I've got my backpack open, and this seems like a good resting spot since we're here at the top of the hill.
Okay.
I've got a couple questions for you. So, on the island, you know, we don't have a traditional beach.
No.
We've got like rocks, and these rocks are like kind of cool. So I brought a rock with me here. What type of rock is this?
It's just an old shell rock that you'll find along the beach or the area of the island. It's just layered rock that's there. Don't know exactly what type of rock it would be, but we just always refer to it as a shell rock that's kind of just laying on the island.
Because I've never seen them, like, you know, if you're going out into the woods, I've really never seen this type of rock except for being around the lake. So is that just kind of...
It's probably indigenous to here around the lake. You know, the lake was formed in the 1940s.
Right.
When they flooded it. So,
right.
You know, the mountains that they cleared off and all that, and the towns that they cleared to make this lake. There's a lot of rocks and other just different things that are laying around the island.
Cool. All right, so I'm gonna really test you here. You know, we've got all kinds of different trees.
Yeah.
So I have never seen any kind of limb or anything that looks like this, but it's all over our shoreline. What is that?
Well, it's actually just a piece of tree, kind of looks like a piece of cedar that is broken off at one time.
Okay.
Floated on the lake. We call it driftwood because it'll drift around the lake. You'll find it all over the shoreline. There's a lot of different things you can make with this.
Okay. What can you do with it?
One thing you can do is what I do personally. I make ink pens. Use a wood lathe, and I'll take the wood just like this. I'll cut it down to size.
Can I see that?
Yeah.
So Sergeant Sutton actually takes this wood, kids, and makes this ink pen. How cool is that? What else can you do with that?
You can make baskets. You can weave things on them. A lot of people have done just different types of crafts with it.
Well, in previous episodes, of course, Sergeant Lawson cooked for us.
Yeah.
And, you know, he broke down the lead, the pencil, went into the finger, and then it would be like fuel. Could this be used as fuel for a campfire? Will this burn like it would, you know,
Yeah, as long as
any other type of
like
hardwood?
a lot of it, like this piece is very dry. You could use it, shave off the pieces of wood. You know, if you're somewhere you need
Right.
to start a fire, shave off the pieces of wood to help start that fire.
All right, so I'm gonna put this back in the bag so we can take it back to the shoreline.
Okay.
Or you can have it to make a pen, but let's head on over to Eagles Point.
All right.
All right.
Head on.
So Craig, you know, while on the island, and I have to admit, man, I am scared to death of snakes. I don't like them.
Makes two of it.
Well, what type of snakes do we have here in Kentucky?
Here in Kentucky, in this general area, two of the poisonous snakes that you'll find here are the copperhead and the rattlesnake. We've not really had a lot of contact with them, especially on the island. Maybe a few, once or twice with copperhead. But mainly on the island, we'll have water snakes, black snakes, which they actually, when you come approach them, sometimes they may raise up, flare their head. Some people just flat-headed here.
So the other day, I was getting on this maida or barge, and I noticed there was a snake like underneath the water, just swimming along. Would that be a venomous snake, or is that one that's, if it were to bite me, obviously I don't want to be bit by any of them, and it's going to hurt. But is that one that I need to seek immediate medical attention? Is that going to be a poisonous snake if it's swimming directly under the water, not coming up, or is that? I mean, what is that?
Well, we have water snakes here.
Right.
I'm not going to tell you whether it's poisonous or not.
Right.
What I would do is, in the event that something like that happens, first of all, contact the physician.
Right.
Let them know what you bit. They may tell you just to elevate that leg for a while, make sure you don't see any swelling.
Okay.
Or anything. The things you could have, it could be a bite, could be what they call a dry bite.
Okay.
Even. What we always encourage you to do is, if you do see a snake, don't try to aggravate it or anything like that, where it would make it approach it.
So that rattlesnake you were talking about, obviously, I think we've all heard about rattlesnakes, and they get that name because of their tail has that rattle on it.
Yeah.
They're gonna kind of let me know.
They're gonna let you know. They're gonna, and it's like anything. You don't want to be pinned into a location.
Right. But what kind of characteristics do you got on that copperhead? What's it going to look like? Is there anything that's going to give me that? Oh man, that's a copperhead, not just some brown snake or some type of just regular water snake. How am I going to know just by looking? Is there any kind of characteristics on that copperhead that's going to make me go, okay, that's a copperhead?
Well, looking at the head, if it's got a kind of a diamond-shaped head, if you're close enough to see that, it could be a copperhead. They have a pattern on them.
Okay.
Kind of, different, say it's a diamond style, but it's got a pattern on it. But also some water snakes do have those too.
Okay.
So, it's really, it's nothing you want to.
Well, a buddy of mine referred to it like a Hershey Kiss. You know that you get from Hershey's, that little Hershey Kiss? And he said, man, if you see a Hershey Kiss, you need to go somewhere else. Don't kiss that one. Run. So, is that I guess one of the characteristics you'll find as well?
One of the characteristics. And another thing that I've always been told, and it's there, if you're somewhere close around and you smell a lot of cucumbers, it could be a copperhead then.
Not just a cookout.
Not just a cookout.
Not just a cookout. We'll have, okay.
I've heard that from several people that have given me quite a bit on that.
Okay. So, as we continue on the trail, we've got a little bit more to go. Why don't we stop? If that's good with you, we
could probably go ahead and tie us off another branch here.
Okay.
It looks like the road's going to go around a little bit more, and that way
I think he's putting one right here.
Yeah,
is this good enough?
Let's do it on that side.
All right.
We know it's on our right.
Okay.
We come back out and we'll know exactly where to look.
Okay. And I don't want to be wasteful, so that little piece that I dropped earlier, so kids, I mean, it's just a simple little tie. So you can see that. You can actually do that at home. And like the Sarge said, you could use a piece of string, something visible that you know it's yours. So, you know, I'm using police tape, but I mean, they make pink, you know, just something real plastic that you can stretch it out and tie it on there. Something real simple. So on our way out, we'll know to collect that.
Collect that as we go.
Where we need to go. All right, let's head on over to the point.
Let's go.
We're almost to the point.
Hey, John.
Yeah.
Look over here. See this tree? Wrapping around. See how it's coiled up through there? Probably occurred, if you can see over here, you can see a vine that's around this tree beside it. And
Okay.
Yeah, and it's probably what's happened to this one. At one time, there's been a vine around it. Could have been a poison ivy vine or something, some kind of vine that's tied to it, and as it's grown, it's restricted the growth of that tree in those areas, and that gave it that spiral look. You'll see people a lot of times, they'll take those trees and make canes and things like that out of them.
Okay, so I've seen like people with the walking sticks that have that spiral.
That spiral.
That's the vines of what, I've always wondered what caused that. Okay, I didn't know if that was just something that, you know, someone used with I mean, obviously with machines and technology, you can make about whatever you want, but that's Mother Nature.
That's Mother Nature right
making
there.
her own walking stick.
Yeah, that one's a little thick for a walking stick, but I'm sure there's a lot of smaller ones out here that would have been, you know, had somebody found that a lot longer.
Right. Man, that's awesome.
Okay. As a matter of fact, John, if we look over here to our left, you'll see the vine that's around that tree that's been forming.
Okay.
You know, you can see the marks on the tree where it's been there, and who knows how much longer that vine will be there.
And then at the end of the day, you'll get what we just saw previously.
But you know,
maybe
it may take a while longer today, but it'll be there.
Man, that's
you ready
cool.
to go on?
Let's go.
Let's go.
So Craig, as we're on these trails, what kind of wildlife should we be looking for?
There's a lot of different wildlife around here.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you've got turkeys. You'll come across turkeys.
Yeah.
Deer. We have all sorts of deer around here. Occasionally, you'll see the deer on the island.
Right.
And the deer, the turkey. You have eagles that you'll see, and that's reason, you know, we're heading out here to Eagle Point.
Right.
There's occasionally, you know, back, especially in the wintertime when it's cooler weather, you'll see eagles flying around. There's rumors that here in the park you have maybe some old wild hogs that still roam around.
Well, I noticed, and it seems like over the past little bit, the black bear, it's always been, that's an Eastern Kentucky animal it's made its way towards Toothdale Hollow Lake.
Toothdale Hollow.
I mean, we've actually had pictures of a black bear swimming in the lake. So, I mean, it's amazing all the different wildlife and things that you can find. What should you do if we come across an animal like that?
Well, first of all, you don't want to bother them. Don't want to, you know, interfere with their habitat, whatever they're doing. Avoid them the best you can to get out of the way of them, and let somebody know what you've seen.
Right.
As soon as you see something, avoid it.
Right.
You know, you can take pictures of them and things like that, but don't go trying to disturb them. You don't want to feed them out here. That's
Right.
one thing you don't want to do is feed this wildlife and make them accustomed to the person coming out here, and then they'll gradually start getting closer, you know, to the community and not worry about what they've got.
Okay. So we're lucky here that we're at, you know, the state park, and all of our parks have well-maintained trails.
Yes.
But, you know, there's sometimes that you still run into things.
Well, you got to watch, you know, just like right here, we got a stump in the middle.
Right.
You know, if you're not looking down where you're walking, you could always, you know, trip and fall. There's also rocks around, just like we were coming up on. You'll see a little rock ledge here.
Right. So it's important to put on good shoes. You know,
Yeah.
like a tennis shoe like you have on, or a walking boot. I wouldn't want to be here in open-toed shoes.
No. You need something that's got a good tread on it.
Right.
That you can walk. Because just like this, you see how that is. Being a little bit wet, somebody steps on this, they're going to slip and fall. And we don't want that. you know, happening.
Right. Okay, so good open toe. So kids, make sure you've got on, don't wear flip-flops. Wear, you know, a good boot, a hiking boot, or some type of tennis shoe, as the Sarge said. Make sure it has a good tread on it, because we want you to stay safe when venturing out. Let's head on up to the point.
Let's go. Jonathan, we're ending, but look, right here, poison ivy. It's one thing we want to stay away from. You know, you got poison ivy, poison oak, sumac we may run into, but the poison ivy is one thing you will find on the island quite a bit of, and try to avoid it.
Okay. Okay.
And,
'Cause it causes rashes and...
and a lot of itching going on.
All right. All right, we get here to the point. This is an area we really need to be careful of.
We've got to watch for the roots, the loose gravel, these rocks. The one thing we don't want to do is slip and fall here.
Man, what a better way to end not only, you know, our walk, but also virtual camping itself.
It's true.
I want to thank you again for just being a part of Virtual Trooper Island. I know, as the commander now, what Trooper Island means to you, and it's in your heart.
It is, and it's an honor to come back and help do this for these campers. It's not going to have a chance to attend camp and get to see all this year, but I believe with this, they'll be able to see something and help inform them and educate them about what's down here at the lake and around the lake.
Right. Well, more importantly, I want to thank all of you all that have joined us over the past several weeks. But now it's your turn. Now it's your turn to upload your videos. You've learned how to fish, how to canoe. We've made archery, bow and arrows. We've taught you the importance of wearing your life jacket, how to cook outside, all the different things in nature. We need to see that you have put the work in like we've put the work in. So upload your video, upload your photograph, send that to the Trooper Island webpage using the hashtag Virtual Trooper Island. And on August the 5th, you can join us for our graduation. We're going to use your videos, we're going to use your photographs as part of this graduation. You will also receive a certificate from the Commissioner of the Kentucky State Police, as well as a one-of-a-kind Virtual Trooper Island patch. So until we meet again, remember, stay safe, be responsible, and make good choices. Bye-bye.